Welcome back. Guess what I did? I pressed the end live button. So, this is part two of the hour-long live stream I was doing today. And I went over to my Stream Deck, my technology, to press a button to show you something cool like that right there. And that is right next to the end live stream button. Talk about doing something stupid. If you were watching the previous one and I kicked you off, I really apologize. Wow. That was pretty stupid of me right there. So this is going to be fun editing together later. Wow. Okay, we don't need that kind of Wednesday. Okay, let's get into the meat of the show. Okay, the first part of the show was mainly the introduction. The second part here is me talking about some micro marketing ideas. I'm a little bit flustered there. Wow. For those of you, you know what I'm gonna have to do? I'm definitely gonna be rearranging my buttons later on this Stream Deck. That was a huge mistake, and I feel like an ass now because of it. Okay, micro marketing ideas. Okay, these are some, I'm not going to say tricks, but they are some tips and some cool things you can do in marketing when it comes to kind of like micro tracking or micro tagging or keeping track of the activity of people who you are marketing to, so you can remarket to them later, so you can see who's interested. Um, Things like that. And so I made a list this morning of different micro marketing ideas. I have to say, with every client and every marketing campaign, I don't always get to use every single one of these. However, these are the things in my hip pocket when it comes to, after we've run the Facebook ad and we've gotten someone to the landing page, maybe we've gotten somebody on the email list. This is a list of things that you can do after that to kind of keep them engaged and things like that. So, and obviously we have a platform for this. So if you don't know how to do any of this, make sure you reach out to us here. Are all my scenes going okay? Yeah, make sure you reach out to us here at Stop Doing Nothing Media, and we can obviously set all this stuff up for you. It's pretty cool. Okay, the first one is one that I have to say I rarely do, but it's still this is one I kind of on the fence on, but it is out there as something you can have in your arsenal. And that is when you're doing massive email campaigns to people, is to keep track of who's opening and tagging them appropriately. Now, this was actually the first thing on my list, but I was really hesitant to talk about it because in 2024 and going forward, actually probably for 5 years now, we've had some doom and gloom when it comes to doing stuff like tracking email opening. And even though this is first on my list, this would probably be one of the last tactics I would do because it's just not very reliable. The way email tracking works is email software, like our platform, what it does is it drops a little pixel, or yeah, basically a little graphic pixel in the email, and then when you open it's like a one by one white pixel, you'll never see it, and when you open the email, that pixel is fetched from a server, and that pixel has some tracking on it to make it unique to that email, so that's reported back to their email marketing software that says, oh, this email was open. All of us being, privacy nuts, the more marketers get in and try to get into your inbox, the more ways these different platforms are trying to block that. So between Apple iOS changes and almost like every email program these days having the ability to turn that off, that is not a terribly reliable statistic. So, and there's two reasons for that. Number one, in most email software these days, you can turn that off. You can say, do not fetch images unless explicitly said so. And so then what happens is you open up the email, but there's no graphics in it, which is okay. But that pixel being a graphic does not get fetched also. So your client or your prospect may open the email and it will not get reported back to you. The flip side to this is there are some software packages that, as they're fetching your email, they download everything, including that pixel, and um, even before the email's read. And so sometimes your emails will get marked as read over in your email tracking software when no one has even, turned on I'm not gonna say turn on their computer, but maybe their computer screen is locked and they don't even know they have an email yet. It just gets sucked in automatically as part of their email software. So even though this is the first one on my list, this is the last one I would really try because it's not really reliable. The second one on the list, which is the one which is, in my opinion, it can still be what's the term I want to use? It can still be faked. It can still be triggered indirectly, but that is click tracking. So to me, that's the ultimate email metric right there. It's not open tracking, it's click tracking. And with click tracking, what you can do is usually in some kind of email marketing software, ours being, the Playmakers platform, is you can make it so that that link in the email, when it's clicked on, so when you send it to Janet, and Janet clicks on it, it actually bounces really quickly through a link tracker, saves that statistic on the software, and then puts the person to the actual page you want to go to. So if your email says click this to see my offer, and you highlight the click this and say I want to make this a tracking link, then that is reported back to the software, and that is much more reliable than open tracking. Now, it's not infallible. I've got some friends, for example, who work in government, who do some government work, and they send a lot of email out to government organizations. And on the other side, the email server, I think I heard either the email server or the virus checker, whatever it is, it actually pulls up each email before it ever gets to the person, and the software will click on every single link to make sure the destination is not a virus and that's not a bad website. So again, like open tracking, it's possible that some piece of software will click on that link, triggering your software to make it think that the link was clicked, when in reality, the intended recipient has never seen the email yet and never clicked on the email, okay? So again, it's not 100% reliable, but in my opinion, that software doesn't run on too many places, so it's much more reliable than the open tracking. And then with both of these, what you can do with the right email software is you can tag these people. And so, for example, I have a client right now, a big real estate client, who we're doing a massive email campaign. Yeah, thanks, Frankie. Man, I appreciate you, Frankie. Where you watching from, man? Let's get this on the screen here for you, Frankie. Loving that picture right there. Yeah, spam checkers are marking emails as opened all day. Exactly. My man knows what's going on right there. But what you can do then is in these email tracking softwares is on your side is you can tag these people. And I know where I was going. I've got a big real estate marketing client. We're sending out several 100,000 emails. And one of the things, Miami, Florida, watching on Facebook, man, I appreciate you. Stay safe out there. It's storm season for you guys, man. Um, um, what was I saying? Oh, when the email is sent and that link is clicked on, for the third time, I've got a large real estate client, and we're doing a massive email campaign out there. And I'm tagging the people that click on the link because that shows a little bit a higher level of interest than someone that just opens up the email, for example. So I'm not tagging the opens because I don't trust them, but I am tagging the link, the clicks, because that tells me that at least I can get a micro list. And that's what this whole stream is about, is micro tracking, not microaggression, screw that microaggression stuff, but tracking small little things that people are taking in marketing to indicate interest. So even though someone has not explicitly filled out the landing page to opt in for the event that we're promoting, I still have an idea of who said, I wonder what this is. And they clicked on it, and they got to the page, did or did not fill it out, but at least I have a list now of everyone that clicked on that. And that lets me, again, everything in marketing world is a funnel. And so if we send an email to 1,000 people, in my opinion, if someone clicks on a link, well, that takes them from very, very TOF, top of funnel, to maybe one step down a little bit further. And then from there, I can get them further and further down the funnel, because, you can't get to the landing page. You send the email gets open, email gets clicked, and then you have landing page, opt in, promotion, show up to event kind of stuff. So to me, the click is just kind of like a micro step. Like if you were to take a whole funnel and, you have your major 4 or 5 steps, But if you were to take like the major top step and subdivide that into small pieces, that's where some of this stuff would come in, that I've been talking about right there. So take a look at your email software to make sure you can do open and click tracking. And if not, of course, you're going to reach out to Uncle Patrick, and Patrick is going to get you hooked up, especially if you're running several tools and you want to get down to one single tool. Uncle Patrick will get you hooked up. Okay. And then after that, what I do is, what I like to do is based on the open, which we know is 100% reliable, but also the click data, is I will update something called the engagement score. And for my high level friends, this is something you have to set up on that way in the back end, but you can set up the engagement score based on opens and clicks. Engagement being, how much is someone opening, clicking, and buying or opting in to my kind of stuff. So in most sets of email software that I've worked in, what you can do is in the back end, in the settings, you can set up a way to score people based on their engagement. So, I may say that an open is worth 1 point, a click is worth 5 points, and maybe a purchase is worth 50 points or 100 points. And then I can also, on the flip side, I can say, well, if someone hasn't done something, or if someone is marked as something whatever, then just subtract points. But then what that allows you to do also is to come back later and say, oh, who on my list overall has high engagement scores? And this comes in handy when you're doing like list cleansing and stuff like that. Just a second, Sterling. I saw your question. So if you have an email system that doesn't have an engagement scoring kind of system, then again, talk to Uncle Patrick. We'll get you hooked up with one. But if you do, make sure you go in there and make sure you set up your rules. I like to set up rules for click tracking. I think, off the top of my head, I may set up an open. If I may set up an open to be like 1 point, and a click to be 5 points. And opt in, like an email opt in for anything, that to me is worth a lot more. So like that may be like a 5 or a 10 point kind of action. A purchase is, much, much higher. A purchase may be 100, 200 points or whatever. That indicates, that's a big deal for someone to take out. And in my case, someone to take out, spend hundreds or thousands of dollars to work with us. That is in there. And then on what's even really cool is on some of the more advanced email systems is you can actually have the score decay. And I don't think we can do that yet on the high level platform. I don't think the score can decay, but I came from the world of Infusionsoft. And in Infusionsoft, there's another place in the rule backend that you can say decay this score every, I think it might be every day or every week. So it may be like decay at like 0.1% or 0.5% or 1%. So what that does is that handles people joining your email list, racking up all these points because they followed your funnel, they opted in, they purchased, they whatever. But let's say over time they just don't engage anymore. Maybe they even unsubscribed, or they're just not interested in your content anymore. Well, eventually their score will decay. Decay. Did I say that right? Yeah. Eventually their score will decay, and so that's a good one right there to also use. So Sterling asks a question right appropriately on the slide that says, what is on your mind? Thank you, Sterling. Sterling asks a question. Do you track NPS? For those of you that don't know what Sterling is talking about, NPS is Net Promoter Score. And I believe it takes it, I believe the scale is like either 1 to 3 or 1 to 4, and then 5 to 7, and then 8, 9, 10. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sterling, on that, but I believe that's what the scale is. And Net Promoter Score basically is, you really want to find out who basically it's like a rating you. It's how many people will promote you. And the goal is to, you want people to have 8s, 9s, and 10s. And so Sterling's asking, do I use that? Because that's just a standard rating system. Sterling, I do use it sometimes. There is a tool. Let me see if I can figure it out. But I mainly use it. I don't use it in email, Sterling, as much as I use it on web pages. So, Net Promoter. Let's see. What was the tool that we were? Net NPS on website. This it's just escaping me off the top of my head here. NPS on website is a type. GetBeamer. So GetBeamer. So to answer your question, Sterling, yes, I do like it on web pages. Like on my website, but there's a free tool, obviously free to paid, called GetBeamer. Let me see if I can get to their website without clicking on their ad, because I don't know. Here we go. Sorry, I'm going to click on your ad, guys, right here. So GetBeamer, GetBeamer.com. And there's a free version, and then it looks like after that, there is a paid version for $49 a month. And so what this does, Sterling, which I like, is I can put this on like a blog or a website where I know a lot of traffic is coming in. And this is like a little pop-up at the bottom where they can just rate it right there. And what's cool about Net Promoter Score, and I'm sure Sterling knows this, what's cool about it is as people rate you, you can look on the back end and you can kind of keep track of the trend of how people feel about you and your business. And I have 100% seen this where I've put this Net Promoter Score, GetBeamer. I put this on, it's actually called Beamer, just the website's getbeamer.com, GetBeamer, no affiliation, just like them. You, in the back end, when you put this on your website, you can see over time as you're doing different promotions or you're creating different content, you can actually, it's almost like people giving you some kind of feedback continuously on how well they like your stuff. You know, maybe you have a good special, good sale going on, you'll see your Net Promoter Score go up. Oh, but then something else is going on, your Net Promoter Score might kind of go down. And what's cool about this, for those of you that have WordPress websites, and if I'm not mistaken, if people are signed into your membership site, like on a WordPress site, and you have this on there, it'll even tell you which people had which scores. So you can choose to have it anonymous, but if someone's signed into your membership site on a WordPress site and they get a GetBeamer pop-up there and it says, oh, we absolutely love Patrick's stuff, we're going to rate him a 9. Over in GetBeamer, it actually logs the email address of the person and possibly maybe even which page they were on. So the answer to your question, Sterling, thank you very much, is yes, I use it, but just mainly on web pages. I don't think I've ever sent an email out saying to rate us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's mainly like a pop-up from the bottom of a website is where I really like it. But GetBeamer is my one of choice. I guess you know what? I could actually probably, I haven't done it yet, but I could go get GetBeamer and put it up on one of my high level sites. I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to get GetBeamer because I'm transitioning some of my sites that don't have a ton of content. I'm transitioning those over to high level from WordPress. Um, he's got a friend of mine, John. I'm not gonna say his last name, but you ever have that friend where you exchange like humorous notes? Every now and then I'll get a show note, from him, but he just sent me a meme from the DNC last night. That guy is crazy. But yeah, it was a great show from what I hear. I did not watch it. So engagement scoring is and what I will do with the engagement scoring, getting back into that, what I might do with the engagement scoring is that people that I know have a higher engagement score, a tactic I've done before is I've actually sent them more frequent marketing because I know they've already bought into my way of life. They've already bought into my methodology. And so maybe somebody who has a lower email score, I will trick out emails every 3 days for any kind of marketing campaign, marketing sequence. Somebody who has a higher Net Promoter Score, I can trickle those out every 2 days, every 1 day kind of thing. So that's not Net Promoter Score, engagement score right there. Okay, the last 3 here have to do with retargeting, and there's various things you can use for retargeting, and retargeting is just one of my favorite things to use, favorite strategies to use. And like I said earlier, if you have one of these micro targeting strategies that you really like, let me know, and I'll bring it up and we'll talk about it also. But but let me see what was it here. Oh, retargeting based on page visits. So this is how retargeting really started back in the day. Is sites like Google and Facebook let you put a little piece of code on your website or all over your website. People call it a pixel. Oftentimes it may be a pixel, and more often than not, it's just like a little piece of JavaScript. But pixel is easier than saying a little piece of JavaScript. And they basically let you put a pixel on your website or all over your website. And that pixel reports back to the platform. Well, first of all, it drops a cookie on your machine, if I'm not mistaken. But then the platform also gets wind that you were on the page. And so what that means is that information is sent back to the ad platform. It knows you were on the page. And then the platform will build an audience of people that were on a particular page on the website overall. excuse me. So that information gets back to the platform, it builds an audience, and then you can build ad campaigns based on that audience. And this is, again, this is such a thing to me that's such an excuse me, whew, it's such an easy thing to implement immediately. So whenever I get working with a new client or a client that has a lot of traffic, one of the things I'll tell them is, I'll look at, we'll do like an audit, and I'll look, and they're getting, they're getting 1,000 page hits an hour or 1,000 page hits a day. And if they don't have any pixel code on there, I will get either Google Tag Manager on there and then control that, or I will get the pixel code on there ASAP, because that's just an easy, quick way and free. Facebook gives you that for free. Google gives you that for free. AdRoll gives it to you for free. All these, most of the ad platforms out in the audience have some kind of retargeting capability. And so sometimes I'll go to a website and I'll poke around. I'll see 3 or 4 or 5 different pixels on there, because that way they can get you wherever wherever you happen to visit outside of outside of the actual website. So if you haven't done so yet on your website, get your Facebook retargeting pixels on there, get your Google retargeting pixels on there, and then at some point in time later, it may be a month, maybe 6 months, maybe a year, it doesn't matter. Later, you can then go to that platform and say, oh, I want to build an audience of all those people that were on my website because I want to target them with ads. Okay, so that's one based on just page visits. Retargeting based on clicks. So this one's kind of cool. And again, this one requires a little bit more advanced platform. And of course, Uncle Patrick has the answer for you. But this one basically means that I have a way that when somebody clicks on something, I can put them in an audience and target them for advertising. So again, let's use high level as an example. If I have, trigger links on all my links, I can basically, when someone clicks on that, in the front end, send them to the destination page. But in the back end of the site, on the tech end of the site, what I can do is I can take that email address and I can push that over to a Facebook audience, and then I can use that in advertising. Does that make sense? So I can send an email saying, hey, attend our really cool, awesome event in Atlanta. Click here if you want more information. And they click on there and they go read the page, and they may or may not act on it, okay? They may or may not act on it. I don't know. But at this point, I've got them, right? I can tag them. I can tag them, which I'm going to do, but I can also then push that information via what's known as CAPI, or Conversion API. I can push that over to the platform and build an audience. And so now, not only have I sent you an email to get your attention, not only do I have you tagged inside of my CRM to know that you were interested, but now I can start displaying ads to you over there. So if you've ever seen this, I mean, this is very easily how this works. You get some kind of marketing email, you're just kind of curious, and you click on something in the email, and you go read it, and you're like, oh, that's okay, whatever, and you close it down. And all of a sudden, for the next 2 or 3 days, you're getting ads on that thing. People like to think it's a conspiracy. People like to think, Facebook's listening to my conversations. Google's listening to my conversations. I swear if it was, I would be paying to advertise that way. It's not listening to your conversations. You're just doing different things without even realizing it to indicate your interest in something. And it could be something just as easily as opening up an email or clicking on an email. Remember the golden rule? Marketers ruin everything, right? And so the really advanced marketers are using tricks like this, where we're going to get you into an audience and we're going to market to you based on your activity, based on your open and your click activity. So retargeting based on clicks. And then another one I really like, especially since I'm doing so much video content these days, is retargeting based on video views. And this one, is Google and Facebook? Yeah, both Google, you can do this on both Google and Facebook. And if you're somebody who's a big, I'm not going to say influencer because I can't stand that phrase so much, but someone who creates a lot of visual based content. Can you use retargeting to build a live stream audience? Oh, that's a very good point, Sterling. Can you use retargeting to build a live stream audience? I don't think you can rebuild the live stream audience directly, but what you could do is you can push people to subscribe. So let's say, and I'm not doing this, but let's say if someone's watching this show on YouTube, I can those count as views. Okay, so whether or not I've got one person watching while I'm streaming, or 10 people or 20 people, those count as views. over in the audience side of Google on, for YouTube, is I can then put everyone who views like all my live streams, I can put them in an audience, and then I can push other advertising to them to come back and subscribe to then get them to watch the live stream. Does that make sense? So I can't really, um, I may be, the answer may be yes. I thought the answer was no, but the answer may be yes, depending on what you're talking about. So you can use retargeting to build a live stream audience. So you can't really push people to watch the live stream, but what you can do is you can push them to get on your email list. You can push them to come back and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Quick shout out to myself. If you are not subscribed on YouTube, please do so. I'm coming up on 1,200 subscribers, on my way to 2,000, on my way to then 5,000, and then on my way, of course, to 100,000. So if you're watching this show, please make sure you go over, subscribe on YouTube, and turn on that little notification button down there. I need to get a graphic with that, so I can put that graphic down here someplace. I already got a push to subscribe to YouTube graphic, but like little ding kind of graphic. I need to put that in a scene here, get there. So that may be what you're talking about, Sterling, is so there's a roundabout way to do it. But again, you can't push people directly to watch the live stream. Man, I wish you could. Man, I wish you could. This is my main source of content creation right now. Not really for money, but for the ability it gives me to engage like with people like Sterling and Frankie, and share some educational content. But man, the day that comes out, man, I will be all over that. All over that right now. It's just a matter of trying to build up the YouTube subscribers. But yeah, this works on Facebook also. This worked for Facebook pretty well recently for me, where I did a campaign and you can put out like a bunch of short videos on your fan page, and then you can build an audience saying people who have viewed these videos. This is what's cool about this. This is kind of a self-churning thing. Marketing attention is hard, okay? It really, really is hard. My preferred mechanism right now is video because it seems very human. It gets the point across very fast. People can, if you do it right, people can only listen to 5, 10, 15 seconds of it and get the gist of what you're saying as to whether or not they want to continue following you or learn more from you. Chocolate rain. For those of you who've been on the internet for a while, you know what I'm talking about. Chocolate rain, something, acid rain pouring down on the world. Chocolate rain. So if that doesn't age me, I don't know what does. And let me know if you remember that gentleman right there. Teenage guy, I can't really think of his name, but all I remember is chocolate rain. Back in the heyday of the internet. Some stay dry and others feel the pain. Thanks. So Frankie's been around, man. Chocolate rain. I don't even know the lyrics. I can hear the music in the back of my head. I just remember in the heyday of the internet, that man was the shiz, man. That guy, and I can't remember some of the other memes back in the day, but yeah, that guy just. As I was drinking my water, I was like, I don't want them to hear me swallowing and slurping my water. And Chocolate Rain guy came to some stay dry and others feel the pain. Chocolate rain. So okay, we have definitely jumped the tracks here. Thanks, Frankie, for bringing up the lyrics here. But one of the cool tactics I like with video views is as a very top of funnel strategy, I'd like to get my clients to record 30, 60-second videos and then push those in a Facebook ad campaign, because video views are very, very cheap. We're talking like sub-penny for some of the Facebook view campaigns that we create out there. And then what I can do is I can then target those to obviously specific demographics, psychographics, different locations. And the goal is to get someone to the landing page. But remember, as people are watching that video ad, I can then take that video, the watches, the views for that video, put that in an audience to then show the video to them again. Okay, so the goal. So I'm going to get something out of the video. If let's say Frankie, I'm going to use Frankie as an example. If Frankie is a client of mine and gives me a 60-second video, and I put that up in an ad campaign because I want it to show it to people only in Oklahoma City 73112 area code. Okay, if somebody clicks on that and goes to the destination and does what I want, then perfect. Okay, if not. And then somebody watches 30 seconds of the video, I can then now put them into a Facebook audience and I can show them either that video again or another video. So I typically like to have my clients do 2 to 3 videos just to get them in rotation, 'cause the particular campaign is gonna hit up the same person multiple times. So my perfect client will give me 3 60-second videos, very casual, very off the cuff, almost like just sitting in front of a microphone and a camera like this, to get it going, and then I can get multiple purposes out of that, and of course, I can also use that over into a YouTube campaign. It's amazing how much content you can repurpose if you're really creative, especially video content. And this doesn't have to do with advertising. This has to do with content creation, blogging, social media. If you are halfway decent on camera, not great, just barely decent, it's going to be very easy for you to create video ads and video content and repurpose that into blog posts and repurpose that into tweets and repurpose that into TikToks. Bleh, and repurpose that into other content, short little clips on videos, talking head reels and shorts. Now, one of my favorite things to do is to whip up my camera here on my phone, do a 60-second video, and then push that through the captions app where it adds the caption at the bottom and does the jump cuts for me. And then I will push that to Instagram, which then pushes it to Facebook, and then I will also upload it on my computer here, and I'll then push that over into a YouTube short. Okay. And so that's me recording one video out on my morning walk and having it go 3 or 4 places, repurposing the content right there. And then if I wanted to, I could still use that in an ad. So man, there are just so many benefits to starting off your content chain or starting off your content production with video. That may be the reason why I'm doing live shows 3 days a week and I very rarely blog anymore, is because I can turn on the lights, I can fire up the camera and the microphone, and I can talk for an hour about any subject out there. If you were to ask me, imagine how many words I've said on this event, on this topic. We've been talking for 49 minutes, not taking into effect the 3 minutes where I killed the show by accident. How many words have I said? Now, think about how long it would take me to type out those same words into a blog post, okay? I am not great. I am not a great writer. Whenever I write my book will probably be spoken, and then I'll get it transcribed and cleaned up from there. So let me know if you have any questions about marketing or about these micro marketing techniques. Again, really quick, for those of you that may be tuning in late, the top ones that you can take advantage of, in my opinion, are open tracking. Not 100% reliable, but if it can't hurt to do it, that's for sure. Click tracking and targeting. And these are all the ways, by the way, you can gauge audience interest and then push them more advertising later. So open tracking is one. Click tracking and tagging people when they open and click emails is another one. Engagement scoring for your contacts. Hopefully your email software has some kind of way in the back end to set up rules so you can basically add or subtract to their engagement score based on whether or not they open or click or something like that. Ooh, you know what I just realized? This would be kind of cool. In high level, because we can see how many people, we can see how much time our contacts are watching videos and kick off automations. Oh, I need to start basically advancing someone's engagement score if they watch over like 30 or 50% of a video. I don't think I've done that yet. That would be cool. That would be cool. I mean, I need to, for those of you that don't know, on my YouTube channel, I have a whole series of high-level videos where I talk about advanced training topics. There's a whole playlist over there. So if you're not going to subscribe for my, my good looks and my dry sense of humor and my singing off to the side, if you're not going to subscribe for that, subscribe and get the high-level videos as I put them up there. And usually, like I said, they're more advanced topics. I don't like to cover the very basics of high level, but I will cover the advanced topics. And there's a whole YouTube playlist for that. I think I just put up a new video over on that playlist like yesterday or the day before. So make sure you subscribe to that and then bookmark that particular playlist, the high level CRM playlist, up on your Google toolbar there. Okay. Engagement scoring is what I was talking about, being able to add or remove points to someone based on opens, clicks, opt-ins, purchases, things like that. Another good thing for you to do. Retargeting based on page visit, which is something we've been doing for a while, where I don't know if this is new, but just scoring. Oh, Frankie, it does? Man, it does have a subtract option, man. I didn't even realize. You know what? Maybe it's one of those things where I just didn't click in the right place. I'm gonna hop over to my training account real quick and take a look, man. I did not. You know what? It was probably right there in front of my face. That's probably not new. It's probably just a matter of Patrick not paying attention here. But let me see. Manage scoring. Come in here. Draft. Add new rule. Add. Subtract. There it is, man. I apologize. It was right there all along. I said to click on the right drop down. I'm so used to adding that I never even, it just totally went over my head to click on. Yeah, I just confirmed it also. Yeah, so good point. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to use that in and subtract scoring based on people not engaging for emails for a while, because we want the good stuff to float to the top, man, and the bad stuff to stink to the bottom. So thanks, Frankie, for bringing that up. As much as I know about high level, man, I'm learning stuff every single day, and it takes smart people like Frankie to say, "Oh, you idiot! It's right in front of your face, Patrick. Why don't you pay attention to the tool that's in front of your face?" Okay. We talked about, we were talking about retargeting based on paid visits, which we've had for a long, long time. You can put Google and Facebook code on your website pages and retarget based on that. We were in doom and gloom mode for a while because we thought the pixels were all going to go away. And so all of us started getting really good at CAPI, or the conversion API. Facebook has CAPI, and Google has CAPI also, which allows you to free data in the back end versus in the front end. And I'm not going to get in the technical terms of the difference between those two, but we all got really good at CAPI. And then I just read a couple of weeks ago that the pixel is not dying. We were all concerned because Google was going to get rid of pixel tracking. And then I heard the other day that they've actually kind of backed off on that. So yay. But it's always still a good idea to know how to use multiple ways to track your stuff. We forget that all the time people are installing antivirus software, people are installing anonymous browsing tools. Apple's coming up with stuff like the proxy browser to where it blocks all kinds of tracking. So as marketers get more and more aggressive, and I am one of them, as we ruin everything, the tools are coming out constantly to battle us. And we're going to get creative. We're going to get around them, but we have to realize that things like cookies and tracking and pixels don't always work the way we want them. Sometimes they're just straight up blocked. So, so yeah, got that going on. And then I was saying also retargeting based on clicks, which you can only do with a really good CRM that Uncle Patrick has that's hip pocket for you. But retargeting based on clicks is something you can do where basically when someone clicks on something, you drop them over into a Facebook audience and you can retarget them, which would be pretty cool. And retargeting based on video views, which is really cool because you can basically use the video views to put somebody in an audience to then target them with more video views and more video views. And if you really want to get advanced, you could do stuff like maybe like a level 1 cold audience who watches the video. Those go into an audience over in Facebook to target with your level 2 videos. And then you have a second campaign over on Facebook, which is like your level 2 or your longer videos. So you may not want to retarget the same people at level 1. Maybe the level 1 watchers you want to target with level 2 videos or more in-depth videos, like I said. So it's when people say that they don't have any kind of marketing ideas, I'm always kind of amazed because there's just so many different ways you can use all this data and all these tools to get creative with your marketing. A platform like the Playmakers platform, aka High Level, it's built for techies and it's built for people that want to do really cool things like this. So I am a High Level agency. If you ever want Uncle Patrick to help you out with this stuff, please make sure you reach out to me some way, somehow. If nothing else, just save the number, man, 405-217-4752. You can text me. We can get on Zoom and chat about your needs and the solutions we have for you. Or you can just text me and say, "Hey, dude, watch the show. Love it. Let me know when the next one's going on, and I'll get you on the email list also." Okay. Thank you for tuning in. It is I have not had breakfast yet, so it's gym day, which means I am going to go have a high protein breakfast, a high protein lunch. See if I can get at least 100 to 150 grams of protein in me today. And then it's chest day. Right? It is chest day and it's kettlebell swing day. And yeah, I'm doing my best to fight off that old age truck. I really, really am. For those of you that left, like possibly Frankie and Sterling, for those of you who I kicked off in the first part of the live stream before I accidentally pressed the end live stream button. Thank you for returning. You really do have my appreciation for you. That was a stupid mistake on my part. I need to make sure that I go modify my Stream Deck layout so the end stream button is not next to the balloon button. That was a very poor design on my part right there. That was just ridiculous. I was adding all these cool effects to the Stream Deck this morning, and I didn't even pay attention to the fact that the finish live stream button was right there next to the balloon thing right there. So thanks guys for coming back. Make sure, yeah, Steven. Oh, dude, Steven, didn't even see you up there, man. I mean, I think I've got breakfast sausage and eggs coming is what I've got. Not coming. I gotta fix it for sure. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be a high protein, low carb. Not gonna say a high fat day, but if I'm going, low carb, high protein, I don't really worry about the fat too much because I'm gonna burn that during a workout. But you guys also get this on your calendar. Like I said, Monday, Wednesday, 9 o'clock U.S. Central. Friday, since I do some school volunteer time, Friday I got to figure out what to do there. But I do want to go live on Friday, maybe like another hour or two later. And dudes, help me out if you will a little bit. I'm not above begging. Share this video if it was useful for you to your Facebook friends. And also, please go over and subscribe on YouTube. That is the platform I'm trying to truly, really go there. You know what? As I'm sitting here thinking, I think I really want a cup of coffee also. I've really been trying to be healthy. But sipping on water all morning now has made me think, oh, cream and sugar and coffee. Cream and sugar and coffee sounds really good right now. Guys, as always, thank you. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you on the next show. And until then, have a great, great day. Subscribe on YouTube. Share the show with your friends. And I will see you someplace online. Have a great week. Talk to you soon.